A man named Marquise, CEO of a major corporation, is getting ready. He touches a large scar on his shoulder. Ignoring it, he keeps dressing up. As he is dressing up, his wife, Viora, starts to pound on a door from the other room, telling him she is stuck.
Yeah, it's jammed. What'd you do now?
I don't care how much the door costs.
I'm gonna go call a locksmith, okay?
No, wait, Marquis T. Woods, I hate you. But thank you for rescuing me.
He then heads to the office. There he talks to Wyman about a case that they are facing. Wyman is eager to press charges, and he wants Marquis to support his decision, but Marquis thinks they should slow down.
This is a class action lawsuit of some public delicacy.
You're right, Marquis. As always.
Cha-ching, dear friend.
Later, Marquis received a call from Kentucky. A man on the line tells him that his father had passed away. Marquis zoned out. Later, he tells the news to his family. Viora asks about his father, but Marquis tells her he hasn't seen him since he was a kid. He ran away from Appalachia, and they were never contacted.
It'll be good for you to get this closure, Mark.
They even got black people?
This man was your dad's father. To pay our final respects, and that's all there is to it.
Look, always remember, you talk to your teachers. Now, you see, baby? That was easy.
The next day, Marquis Viora and their 2 children, Samsara and Titan, board a private plane bound for Appalachia, Kentucky. Marquis pilots the aircraft himself. Viora appreciates the view, but the 2 children are immersed in their phones.
What do you say we listen to some music? Ooh.
Damn, it is hot.
Inside a gas station, Marquis takes in the oddities scattered around the store. Jars containing preserved animals, insects, and even human skulls. It reeks of folk magic and superstition, remnants of the backward world he thought he'd left behind.
Are you kidding me?
Yo, brother, slavery times is over. Let me see. I just want to look at it.
See there. Okay. It's been nice talking to you. They really do have one.
Seeing the dirty toilet, Marquis decided not to use it. Meanwhile, Titan, who was talking to a local boy, made a racist comment after he walked away. Viora heard what he said and got shocked.
What did you just say?
I mean, Dad uses it.
I do not want to hear that word come out of your mouth.
Back in the air, conversation turns sour. When Marquis asks the kids how they're finding the trip, they mock the region and its black residents with cruel humor. Viora, deeply offended, argues with Marquis, accusing him of enabling their arrogance and disrespect. Marquis pushes back, saying he refuses to discipline his children the way his abusive father once did to him.
The way you treat them, they're becoming entitled jerks.
After the crash, Marquis awakens in pain, bruised and disoriented, in the attic of an unfamiliar farmhouse. As he tries to gather his bearings, a woman named Miss Eloise enters and insists he rest. He refuses and demands to know what happened to his family.
Well, how I got here, where my family is. No, please, no. I don't need to go to nobody's bed. I just...
Ah! What you hollering at me for, woman?
Ain't nothing slow about Lewis.
What you doing, man?
Earl finally tells him the crash happened the day before, and he was the only one found. Marquis, panicked and in denial, refuses to accept it. Determined to find his family, Marquis tries to flee once more, but Miss Eloise intervenes. This time, she blows a strange powder into his face. Within seconds, he collapses. Later, Miss Eloise begins crafting what she calls a boogity doll, a voodoo effigy meant to aid Marquis's recovery.
Money can't get you everything.
She then gives the doll to Marquise. She explains what it is and how it works as Marquis looks at her confused. Once she leaves, Marquis wastes no time. He inspects the locked door, then quietly climbs out the window into the storm. From the roof, he sees Miss Eloise surrounded by villagers in what appears to be a ritual gathering. She is a healer who practices root work, a form of spiritual medicine using voodoo. Earl steps forward and announces that while tonight's ritual will use animal parts, something far more significant is planned for the coming blood moon.
Speak, woman. Speak up now. We ain't done yet.
Eloise, Earl, and their son Louis rush to investigate. They find him back in the attic, soaked and shivering. The open window betrays his escape attempt. She asks if he was out in the rain, but he denies it.
Anything special catch your eye when you move this curtain?
And with all due respect, Miss Eloise, you starting to sound like my father. I mean, come on, you don't really believe in all that stuff you be talking, right?
Miss Eloise takes offense at Marquise's dismissal. With quiet force, she reminds him that people in her village don't have the luxury of hospitals or modern doctors. Voodoo is all they have. With that, she locks the window and door behind her and leaves.
Sorry about what I said yesterday.
Let me get you another helping.
Seeing the door is open, Marquis removes the bell attached to the door to silence his movements. Then he waits. Miss Eloise returns, telling him she likes a man with an appetite. It means he is getting stronger. Marquis compliments the food and asks about a sound he heard earlier.
Oh, no, it sounded like I heard, like a ping. What you got going on there?
Now, what do you see?
Once she leaves, he fiddles with the bones, but what he assembles horrifies him. They form a human hand. The middle finger is broken. Nauseated, Marquis vomits everything he just ate.
Oh, can't leave all this mess.
Limping, he drags himself across the house, but before he can make it out, a cawing crow alerts Miss Eloise. Marquis hides just as she rushes up to the attic to check on him. By the time she gets there, he's gone. Marquis stumbles outside and into the woods. Eventually, he finds the wreckage of the plane. Blood is smeared across the cabin, but there are no bodies. Then, through the trees, he spots a small hut. Before he can investigate, someone lunges at him, throwing him to the ground. He wakes up again in Miss Eloise's attic.
Gotta believe or it won't work. We're gonna feel a whole lot better, Eloise.
Once the bleeding subsides, Marquis ventures out again. He looks out the window, and he finds 3 freshly filled graves. Panic surges through him. Could they belong to his wife and children? He frantically digs, only to find the bodies of animals. He presses on and sneaks into the barn, eventually uncovering a hidden basement. He went down the stairs and turned on the lights. There, he discovers a trove of disturbing things: rotting corpses, ritual objects, and spell books thick with symbols.
Life spell. Flesh of my flesh.
From the pages he read, he learns that Miss Eloise is preparing him for a ritual scheduled for the blood moon. The spell involves transferring life from one body to another. His death would be the price for someone else's healing. Instead of breaking down, Marquis shifts into survival mode. Using what he's learned from her books, he begins crafting a boogity doll. As he heads back upstairs, he hears a faint sound, a phone ringing. After searching the house, he finds the source. It's his cell phone. Before he can do anything, Miss Eloise and Earl come back. The moment he hears their voice approaching, he tucks the phone in his shirt and rushes back to the attic, but forgets to shut the main door behind him.
You leave the door ajar again?
No. Well, we gonna have to look at that foot of yours. It looks a mite.
The moment she's gone, Marquis calls 911. A local officer answers. To Marquis' astonishment, the cop says his wife and daughter had shown up at the station days ago, desperate, reporting him and Tyden as missing. Fighting to stay composed, Marquis explains he's being held captive by a couple named Eloise and Earl. The officer knows exactly who they are and assures Marquis help is on the way. Not long after, headlights pierce through the trees. The officer has arrived. Outside the farmhouse, the police officer chats with Miss Eloise, unaware, or pretending to be unaware, of what's really going on. Upstairs, Marquis removes the spike from his foot again, preparing to make another break for it. But this time, Eloise senses it. Enraged, she storms into the attic, seizes the boogity doll he made, and slams him onto the bed. Still refusing to surrender, he grabs the boogity doll and limps downstairs. Miss Eloise and Earl saw him, but Marquis ran out. Miss Eloise tells Earl to get Lewis. The cop is already pulling away, but Marquis follows as fast as his battered body allows. Finally, he made it to the car. Once inside, he threads a string through the doll's mouth, and with that, his voice returns. He calls out to the officer and pours out everything he's endured.
All right, I'm driving. They evil, I'm telling you, Sheriff. And she controlling every single one of them. But that sounds downright racist to me. Where are you?
The car stops. Marquis soon realizes the awful truth. The officer is part of it, a friend of the voodoo couple. In front of them is Miss Eloise, along with other people from the neighborhood. Under the eerie glow of the blood moon, Marquis is dragged into the barn. Villagers fill the space, chanting and watching with anticipation. To his shock, Viora, Samsara, and Tyden are there too, alive but strangely vacant, almost entranced. It's clear Miss Eloise has placed them under some spell.
They're not gonna hear you! I done told you, you gotta reap what you sow!
Eloise raises a dagger. Tonight, she plans to replace Earl's failing heart with Marquis', but just as she is about to stab him, Marquis jolts awake. He hadn't inhaled her powder this time. He had swapped it with something harmless earlier. Reaching for the metal spike, he drives it straight into Earl's chest. The room erupts into chaos. The crowd flees. Even Eloise, the feared healer, backs away in terror. Marquis rises from the altar, bleeding but alive. With the room clear, he finds his family and uses the real magic dust to break the spell. Slowly, their expressions soften and their minds return. But the joy is short-lived. Tyden's hand is truly gone.
Where are we going? Mark!
I need y'all to get out and follow the river. I'll find us a car, get us out of here.
While Marquis prepares for the final showdown, Miss Eloise returns with the villagers, and with them is her towering son, Lewis. Lewis charges into the barn, ready to finish what his mother started. A vicious fight breaks out. Marquis gives it everything he has, but Lewis quickly gains the upper hand, tossing him around like a rag doll. Just as Lewis is about to strike the final blow, he freezes, gasping for air. Moments later, he vomits a flood of water and collapses, dead. Marquis had used Lewis's own boogity doll. He drowned it and, in turn, drowned the man it represented. Miss Eloise lunges with a blade, but Marquis is faster. He blows magic dust into her face, stopping her in her tracks. Then, to her horror, he reveals the boogity doll he secretly crafted for her earlier. Without hesitation, he smashes it with a hammer. The real Eloise is launched backward, crashing into a wooden pillar. The structure gives way, and the lanterns fall. Flames erupt as the barn begins to burn. Some villagers confront Marquis, but he holds up a handful of their boogity dolls and threatens to use them if they don't back off. They scatter. With the fire roaring behind him, Marquis walks away. Shortly after, the barn explodes, killing Miss Eloise along with it. He then reunites with his family. They looked at the fire, relieved that their ordeal was over. Together, they get in the car and drive away from the cursed village. But far below, in the basement where the darkest rituals were born, Miss Eloise's original Boogedy doll still sits untouched. Did this story spook you out? Let us know in the comments below. For more horror movie recaps, subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next one. Fear awaits you.